story which too long had been incomplete. It was incompleteness which in the past had shaped that family story even when it was not mentioned. The closure which we celebrate this day frames really 9 decades of wonderful, painful family experiences. Aunt Jean recalled Glenn helping out on the farm at Farmington, and that fascination he had for tinkering with old things mechanical. And he included his sisters in some of those things, included them in some exciting downhill adventures in coasters and vehicles that he had cobbled together. Even after they moved, Glenn walked back to Barton to finish his school with his friends. And Glenn helped out in the large garden so that his father Joe would have vegetables and fruit to help on his route where he sold them around Wheeling Island. And he probably even helped his mother Sadie make some of Sadie's homemade cottage cheese that I just learned about as part of this process. No matter which sister you listen to, though, each recalls being together as a happy family. Each remembers their peaceful life together in the country. Mom also recalls those days from the farm at Farmington, how they worked together, how they played together, particularly baseball. But that's not surprising with parents like Sadie and Joe. Baseball was probably a requirement in that family. Glenn loved to ride his bicycle and build cabins in the woods with his cousin James Munn and Bob Young, and probably enjoyed that first office job he got with his cousin Lucille Munn. Aunt Lois, though, recalls a big, good brother who really cared for his sisters even though he teased them often. Mostly an older brother who loved them all, but he had a special place in his heart for Lois, the baby in the family, and he often watched and entertained her while she worshipped her big brother. She was proud of who he was and everything that he had done. She was thankful for all the memories. That Thanksgiving, though, raises the second theme that I would like to mention this day. I would like to express for the family thankfulness. And when I say that, I put family in quotes. For the family has grown over these years, not just with nieces and nephews and children and grandchildren, but it has grown through people who have been participating in this whole process, looking for a blessing. Thank you from the family to those who spent their time looking. Thank you to writer Peter Stekel, who found Uncle Glenn. Consider yourself adopted as part of the family.
Thank you.
To all the journalists and media that have kept this story alive, thank you for your interest. Thank you for your faithfulness. To the Army who never gave up, and sent Captain Folsom to be with us today, thank you for your words and your comfort and your caring. Those who will follow here shortly. Thank you for your willing to participate in this service as well. To Martha Bamberger, thank you for being part of the family today. Congressman Wilson, we appreciate your service here today and are thankful for your leadership in government. For the Patriot Guard riders, I give you thanks for watching over these the last few days, for watching over Uncle Glenn and his sisters. I like to quote my grandmother, Sadie Munn. I imagine at this time she would say, my, how this family has grown. Which raises the question then, how do we live forward from this day with a slightly larger family? Not everyone at this moment has closure from the pains. Some of those pains have been recent. Some of those pains are yet to happen in our lives. On this Armed Forces Day, with hundreds of thousands of people in uniform, as much as anything, I appreciate this group who began the service today. But for all those who have been in harm's way, for all those who find themselves in harm's way this afternoon, there's a few words from the prophet Isaiah I would like to share. He wrote those words to a people who had suffered many, many years. And I think this is a reminder of what it is ultimately about. It's about God's faithfulness, and God's faithfulness to see us through both what has happened and what is yet to come. I start with the 11th verse of the 55th chapter of the prophet Isaiah. So is my word that goes out from my mouth, it will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire, and achieve the purpose for which I have sent it. It will go out in joy, and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills will burst forth into song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. Instead of the thorn bush will grow the juniper. Instead of briars, the myrtle will grow. This will be for the Lord's renown, for an everlasting sign that will endure